Hello everybody, good morning. I'm coming at you from the beautiful beaches of Sanibel Island, Florida. So you can see, I'll just do kind of a pan. It's gorgeous here. Really beautiful morning, getting ready to do my practice. I always bring down just a regular blanket. I've got an aerial blanket with me today because that's what I have. But anyway, so I'm gonna do my practice here on the beach this morning. Fresh face, no makeup, just really nice, just relaxing, and then get to the pool. So that's a really great way to start a morning, isn't it? Yes. But anyway, I wanted to pop in because I wanted to address some concerns I have following the shooting in Tallahassee at the yoga studio. And I think that for me, many of you know that I am a huge advocate of gun control and have worked on a lot of things and a lot of platforms legislatively, but I don't want to get into politics. I don't think that this is the platform to use for politics whatsoever. But I did want to talk to practitioners out there and also teachers who may have some concerns following this. It is something that crossed my mind because we work in a public space and we're open to the public. And if you're teaching, no matter where you're teaching, you're usually in a relatively public setting with easy access in and out of wherever you are teaching. So it's been a concern that's popped into my mind. And so I kind of wanted to just pop in and address it just a little bit. My concerns come from, as a teacher, is recognizing times where you're not that safe. So one of the things that is interesting in training, this came up. So in our yoga teacher training, we did talk about safety, making sure that you're never really alone in a studio or your door is locked if you're alone in the studio and that kind of thing, like walking to your car. We did not address something like someone coming in and shooting people while they're trying to practice yoga. That's pretty unusual, I would think. But that's something that obviously didn't come up in our yoga teacher training. But since this has come up, it's an interesting thing to discuss and to talk about. But anyway, one of the things that I was thinking about is just making sure that your studio has some kind of locked door policy. That could always be really helpful. One of the studios that hi Deb, how are you? So good to see you. I'm here in Florida, yay! So one of the things in one of the studios I work in is that we have a locked door policy, so I think that does help quite a bit. Also, Deb, happy birthday. And so I think that helps quite a bit with security and safety in your studio. So once everybody's in place, locking the door, just making sure that stays locked throughout practice and to move on. Also, as a teacher, thinking about safety, taking a trauma-sensitive teacher training or trauma-informed teacher training can really help you identify possible trauma, and also can help you with cueing as far as how to cue during your practice in the event that there could be some kind of trauma with the student. So I guess I'm losing my train of thought here, but so when I look at it from the perspective of a teacher, a lot of students coming into the classroom could be coming from all different walks of life, issues, things happening, whatever. So one of the things, I took a trauma-informed teacher training just so that I could be more sensitive in how I language things and things like that. So that I think is really important for teachers to take, so you can language things appropriately for your students. That's no matter what. Also, another thing to consider as a teacher, I think taking any pictures of the classroom space itself or taking pictures of people when they're in the classroom space. We talked about this in trauma teaching and teacher training, and I was like, no, you never take pictures of your students when they're in the classroom space. It's time for them to have sacred space and time just for them. But I have seen teachers do this, and I don't think it's a good idea. I think it does violate some codes and ethical codes of my own, at least, and I don't think it's a good idea to do that, just because students should be able to have a space that they can practice that is a place of their own, that people don't necessarily have to know that they're there, that kind of thing. And so I think that's a good way of keeping your students safe as well in a classroom setting, is not taking pictures of students as they are there in practice. Besides, as a teacher, you're really guiding the classroom. I certainly don't have time to take pictures. I'm hands-on, I'm working, I'm talking, I'm looking at the classroom, and I'm setting a container for the classroom. So I don't know how people have time to take pictures, but I've seen it happen. So that's definitely a way you can keep your students safe. Like I said, so a locked door, making sure you're not taking pictures of students, and then any confidential information your student gives you, because we do have discussions with students that are confidential. Not posting that information on Facebook or social media or things like that. That's a personal conversation between the two of you, or maybe a couple of people in you. I don't think it's a good idea to post that information online, but I've also seen that happen. So unless you have the consent of that person just wants some like information out into the world, maybe, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to do that either. So that's just a couple of things I think you can keep your students' safety in mind when you do that as well. It's just allow those conversations to be personal. Locked door policy, no matter what space you're offering things in. And then of course for yourself and as practitioners too, if you notice that practitioners are going to be leaving and going into a dark parking lot or something like that, maybe offering to walk with them or buddy up with another student or something like that to keep your student safe. So just kind of thinking about safety now with all this stuff that's happening. And I don't know all the details of the situation in Tallahassee because I'm trying to stay away from all of that. I'm trying to be on vacation and stay away, and it bothers me so much when I see this stuff happen. So I may be way off base, but I just started to think about safety and started to think about ways as a teacher I can promote safety in the classroom. So I hope this is insightful to you as a teacher and as a practitioner, just kind of thinking of things, you know, as a practitioner, thinking about what you talk to your teacher about, making sure that your teacher is someone you trust. Maybe saying to your teacher, hey, this is just between the two of us, or if you see your teacher with the phone, just verifying that they're not taking pictures, letting them know that you'd like this as your private space. Reach out to your teacher if you're uncomfortable going to your parking lot by yourself or something like that. Your teacher would be like, more than, I know for me, I'd be more than happy to be like, hey, no problem, I gotta clean up the studio a little bit, but then I'm going to, then if you don't mind hanging out, then I'll walk you to your car, let's go to the car together or something. And I've had teachers do that with me too. It's been really, really nice. And it's a way to continue to build community. So just as a practitioner, feel free to voice and advocate for yourself as well. That's super important. I think your teacher should be somebody you feel really comfortable with. So if you have a teacher you don't feel super comfortable with doing that, then maybe another teacher that you feel really comfortable with doing would be a good person to take classes with, because I think that relationship is important. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much. Usually I do a YouTube vlog. Today I would post, but I'm having technical difficulties. I announced this on Instagram, and I forgot a couple of my equipment at home. I'm going to blame it on having to bring a million kids stuff too. So I'm not going to go out and buy the equipment to post. So I will probably just post this episode on my YouTube later for those of you who are not on my Facebook with me. And I'll also post this to my valeriekacian yoga page on Facebook so that can be shared. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me here in beautiful Sanibel. I am going to get my practice on this morning and then hit the pool. So I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you later. Bye. Namaste.